So I would like to talk about mobile banking. We live in a mobile-first world, and mobile banking is already the largest, most significant channel by volume of transactions. But let's face it, mobile banking experiences continue to suck. Banks typically have to end up making a trade-off between the user experience that they can provide and securing their user base. If you try to add additional layers of security, well, you have a compromised user experience, and that friction leads to more operational costs for you. If, on the other hand, you try to remove security layers over there, well, you're opening up your users to compromise. But it shouldn't be like that, and you should be able to save all that operational cost and expense. So at Nexmo, we've built a verification solution, which is a turnkey product available as an SDK that allows you to seamlessly build strong authentication solutions inside your mobile banking app. Strong authentication is a combination of three things: something I have, something I am, and something I know. So let's go into the phone where I would like to show you how we do it. As I launch the application, the first thing that I see is my online ID. Now, this is something that already exists. It is the same as my mobile banking ID that was created when I joined the bank. So I go ahead and type that in. And as I proceed past this point, the first thing I see is a reassurance that the channel between me and my bank is secure. It shows me a picture key which says it is shared between me and my bank alone. And then I'm prompted to enter a password. This is the first layer of challenge, something that only I should know. Let me go ahead and type that in. Now, passwords on their own are great, but they have a big problem. We have to rely on users being smart enough to create good passwords. And we can advocate that as much as we would like, but the fact is, if they keep a hard password, they're going to forget it. They will need to contact customer support time and again. I'm a tech-savvy user, but I've had to do that multiple times. Which is why we need to augment this with additional layers of security. The first of which is something that I have. Now, traditionally, banks have relied on things like hardware-based tokens, but they have an important problem. They are an operational expense, and B, users never carry them around. So what good is it having something that you will never have on you to demonstrate that you have ownership of something? On the other hand, mobile phones are awesome demonstration of something that you have. You seldom leave your house without it, and mobile phone numbers, they come with a real-world identity that is also extremely hard to get and very difficult to fake ownership of. However, talking with this identity is not exactly as simple as it may sound. The problem is, if you would like to do this on a global scale, you're talking about connectivity with just about 1,200 odd carriers, understanding a network that was built more than 3 decades ago and was not optimized for reliability of SMS. Which is why Nexmo comes in with its expertise. And as you saw over there on the screen, what we do is we deliver a one-time password for this first-time user, because this is the first time I'm using this application on this phone. And I type that in, and I verify myself. I'm inside my account. The third layer that was done seamlessly behind was something that I am. And thankfully, with Fingerprint API and Touch ID APIs becoming public, we now have the ability to integrate all three, something I know, something I have, and something I am, right into your mobile banking applications with very minimal friction, because you already have your existing password infrastructure, and you already have Touch ID built right into it. Behind the scenes, what the SDK has also done for me is it has created a link between this particular device that I'm using, the phone number that I have on record with the bank, and various other connectivity parameters, such as the IP address that I'm connected from, the timestamp of my connectivity, and so on and so forth. Using this, you can enforce various other scenarios. You can challenge users when they're trying to use a secondary screen, such as mobile banking on a companion tablet. You can enable companion experiences for web-based online banking through mobile devices. And in addition, you can detect and block issues such as SIM swaps, which have become really a big concern for almost all financial institutions. Because my session is tied right now to this device and my phone number, They both need to be there together. But where it truly becomes magical, if we go back to the phone, is when I try to log in a subsequent time. I go ahead, pass the user ID, I enter my password, and I'm in. And what has happened over here is that in the background, we haven't skipped the third layer, which is something I have. It's just that the SDK has seamlessly and completely transparent to the end user received a one-time password, sent to it via push, and authenticated me. And just like that, I have done 3 layers of security in a completely transparent way to the end user, decreasing friction altogether. So if we come out of the phone and just take a moment to think about what we have done, with the Verify SDK, you now have the ability to implement strong authentication through something that the user knows, something a user has, and something that a user is. We would love to talk to you more about this, so if you have time, please stop by our booth. Thank you so much.